Share it back on Discord.
I am. Thank you. Streamlabs has this issue with, like, streaming integrity beyond 3 hours. For me, I think. But, like, you guys have noticed it with your own streams as well, right?
Yeah, and it's just a Streamlabs issue. When I moved to OBS Studio, it's completely fine.
Streamlabs has no integrity.
Okay, so we're now fighting the Eagle, the third of our major opponents, who is, interesting. Visually, the most appealing of the lot. I love his walk cycle. That was an attempt at a grapple that went very, very wrong. Whoa. That one, though. Oh god, here we go. Okay, come on. There we go. As he says, Streamlabs is terrible. I've actually found it very convenient aside from the integrity issues. Like, anything else you want to do, like managing a bot or something like that, for Stream Deck commands, it's really useful. If only it just wouldn't crash quite so often, you know what I mean? Oh, and let's not forget, we can deal damage... Oh no, they grappled us! We can deal damage to enemies by running into them with our levitation ball, though. But maybe they were given that ability specifically to counteract that. Alright. Down he goes. We've got one more.
I really like it how we were talking about the entire, rainbow illumination of Allianz Arena and stuff like that today, and, like, this entire level is so colorful and rainbowy. It's, like, very fitting.
And by the way, Seth, do let me know if there are any charities or things like that you would like me to promote later on for the remainder of the month.
Yeah, no worries. Like, this was a specific case, mostly because the entire city of Munich was in uproar for a while, especially because of that. Because we were the only city in Germany that did not illuminate their stadium in, like, solidarity with QI plus community. And it was because we were against Hungary.
Right.
The game was with Hungary. And they outlawed any, any gay propaganda, so to say. And it was so bad that even like a radical right-wing group came like to Munich and like from Hungary and were in front of the stadium making sure that there is no like pro-pride imagery.
Jesus Christ, why care so passionately about it that you, like, cross international borders?
I have no idea.
For a fucking football game.
Yeah, and like the city of Munich wanted to do it, like,
right.
And also there were a lot of people like from the city itself, and we as the citizens that went, you know, in front of the stadium with flags and being like, okay, you're not illuminated, but we are gonna show like our solidarity. And we know that it was not the city's fault, it was like completely UEFA that banned it outright in Munich because of Hungary. Because like in Munich we have normal prides every year, you know, organized, supported by city, supported by all the local parties and everything, so it's completely fine usually.
Luna says because humans suck. I will push back on that quite vociferously, actually. I believe and assert and always have that people are basically fundamentally good, and most people try to be mostly good in most of their actions most of the time. Of course, that's talking about intent and not necessarily outcome. But, like, people generally mean well. And we tend to take note of those occasions where people act or advocate for hatred or intolerance or violence, and it seems so jarring to us because it's aberrant, not because it's how most people which is always usually implied by folks who say, oh, people suck, people this, people that, to mean people who aren't like them, they're aberrant to us. They stand out to us because they're aberrant, because they're unusual, because most of the time we aren't hateful, we aren't discriminatory, we aren't violent, we aren't avaricious, you know, that we recognize almost intrinsically that we are fundamentally good, and deviations from this are abnormal.
I would just like to say it in short. It's not that humans suck, but the humans that represent humanity suck.
Some people do, yeah, exactly. Some people do and say horrible things, and it's a bigger problem with institutions in the world, especially like the media and its general fondness for, you know, the extremes all around. That they signal boost occasionally some of the very worst things people are saying and doing.
I like MC's take. He said, humanity is abhorrent. You're welcome for this shot. You know what, MC? If we ever make merchandise, like official over-analyst merchandise, I want this on a shirt. It's gonna be humanity is abhorrent.
Oh, so really quickly, we've dusted our way into Dingo Inflagrante's apartment, which you may notice is, like, representative of, like, an actual Matador, combined with, like, a high school jock's bedroom, like a high school jock from the 50s. And here we can meet Mr. Inflagrante himself and ask why he isn't doing something about the bull terrorizing the entire city.
Yeah, fuck that bull.
MC says, I mean, I do make a lot of marketable quotes.
You kind of like, I don't know, if I would kind of brand your sense of humor or like your take on stuff, it would be comedy nihilism.
You must be the towel boy. You want an autograph?
And if that's not like a genre it should be.
And that's a good lesson for you. Anticipate disappointment. Take me.
Dingo, we just talked about this. No, don't anticipate disappointment.
Against the town bull has received virtually no marketing support. A towering advertisement was supposed to have been painted just outside my window. But as you can see, the job hasn't even been started.
I think that bull is trampling anyone who tries to paint on the wall. Maybe you could stop it.
So instead of challenging the bull before a stadium packed with screaming women, you want me to fight it on the street in front of one dog and one child wearing a crude towel boy disguise? That's a terrible idea.
This does not strike me as a towel boy uniform at all.
Billboard painted, and I'll reward you handsomely, which is how I do everything.
Right, so we need to get, oh, there we go. He gives us our final ability, which is kind of glitching out, but it's Confusion. The same power that, Oleander's prototype tank launched, at us. MC says, anyway, for an actual contribution, humans easily recognize the extremes because they can be categorized. Anything middling is harder to perceive because it's a gray area and because it's common. Well, that and you don't often have people organize around, fairly milquetoast positions. For instance, it's very, very hard to get lots of people excited for the notion of, hey, taxes, maybe people, especially the wealthy, should pay a little bit more to help us subsidize a few additional social programs and strengthen the integrity of the ones we have. That's not something that excites people, you know? It sounds bland. Okay, so Confusion. Here's how it works. It's another power, like our marksmanship, that comes with an ammo capacity. We launch Confusion grenades, just like the brain tank, to temporarily disorient enemies, and take a couple of them out of the picture entirely, including our final luchador. So, hold on real quick. Did we explore what's on the other side of his fireplace? No, we did not. We did not.
It's really, what do I want to say? Yeah, I wanted to say that I think that just like the pure thing of it is that we just don't notice things that are not loud.
Yes.
In any sense of way, we just don't perceive it. So that is just the only wisdom here.
And so that's why you have so many people, like I'm thinking about electoral politics in the US, for instance, who sit idly by, watch things go to shit, because some people who are very active in trying to change the world aren't wanting to change it for the better, and then when they erupt into crises, want to act like we're in this dark night of the soul and most people are awful or selfish or what have you, when
Yeah.
they let a world be created that is that way. It's not that way normally, but... Well, if you don't plug a hole in your boat when it's tiny and not doing any damage, it eventually will do a lot of damage. Point is, maintain your goddamn boats.
Exactly.
MC says that's why Twitch audiences often scream, wanting to be recognized in the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the point then of ass ASMR? I don't get it.
Ass ASMR? Like, do you mean
That's
like
why...
like
No,
butt?
yes, like butt, like
What?
butt on the microphone and then farting, kind of like your a coworker at the radio.
No, I was about to say. So what? They're just making like DJ Khaled songs. I don't understand any of this. I feel so old.
What's it called? A clip from that one Twitch streamer that got banned because of it. Basically, she had a, like the microphone up her butt, of course in yoga pants, and was waiting to fart.
People pay for this?
Yes.
Oh, that's so strange.
And then, yeah.
Amaranth and one other got banned for what? Ear licking ASMR while in yoga pants.
Yeah.
Eclipse says
The
understanding.
other one was the one that made the butt thing.
Eclipse says understanding is overrated. I will say understanding is underrated, actually. Now that's something you could put on a slogan. Oh, Eclipse says, I come back to someone trying to fart up a butt microphone. Oh, okay, in that context, yeah, you're absolutely right for saying
Come on,
that.
guys, don't you live on the internet?
No.
Oh.
MC says, there is no understanding. God's sake. No, not understanding any of that. I mean, by all means, consume what content you wish, but yikes. Oh, there's our second vault. Oh, and look, all of the luchadors we defeated are going to be hanging out here, along with the dogs once we clear the stage. Edgar's love. So that's just giving us a little bit of additional context behind Edgar and Lana's relationship. Oh, that's it. Oh, wait, was that a ring? Was he asking? No, that's a flower. A rose, specifically. Okay. Luna says, I've seen worse things, sadly. Oof, alright. Eclipse says, I'm a dragon. My farts are sometimes incendiary, but mine aren't even interesting enough to record. Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it. There's some things you're happy you don't get, right?
Yeah, I just think it's great that you took that ass kicking I handed to you and turned that defeat into something positive. Like gardening. Hey, I just think it's great that you took that ass kicking I handed to you and turned that defeat into something positive. Like gardening.
Alright, they've got nothing to say to us. But they are gardening, so gold star for them. I'll see if we can't make it back to the end of the stage. Spinner says, let's see if this will work for me now. Fingers crossed, man. Spinner says, yo, they said ass in a kid's game. Is that allowed? Apparently so, because they've said it like 5 times. Also, this isn't quite a kid's game.
Yeah.
There's nothing terribly objectionable in it, but it wasn't intended primarily for a very young, or a younger audience, as far as I'm aware.
It would seem we lost Seth.
Oh no.
Oh, I see. Like 2 minutes ago, my entire neighborhood is without electricity. I haven't seen such darkness in a long time.
Oh,
It's
no.
actually quite scary.
Oh god. Yikes.
It's okay, Seth. Don't worry about it.
Spanner says, we all know if you have more than 3 colors, you made a kid's game. Oh man, aren't you glad we've kind of passed that point in video game design philosophy? Like where we can be colorful again and that can be okay? Where we can craft worlds that are visually interesting and distinct? Oh, I'm so happy about it. We're looking for the snakes stretch of the road. Here we go. Oh, come back here, Figment. Or not. It's cool if you don't want to. It's cool, it's cool, it's fine. It's fine. No! Ah! Okay. Flip says, so that's why Skyrim was so gray? If you want to be perfectly honest, probably, yes. Skyrim was a fairly dreary-looking game, wasn't it, Potato, in retrospect? Outside of, like, that beautiful boreal forest in the southeast.
Yeah.
I think we collectively believe Skyrim to be a worse and worse game with every passing year.
Well, that's what tends to happen when you keep releasing the same game on every single platform that exists.
That's true, and make your new IP a console exclusive, which, I mean, I guess they had no control over, but still.
Yeah, I mean, they really don't, since, you know, Microsoft
Hey,
now owns
you
them.
really gotta
It's alright, I'll be okay without Bethesda's games.
Okay, man, here's the plan. Step 1, I quit we.
Or,
Step
you
2,
know, whatever they
we,
try to
which is
battle
now
those
just
games.
you, runs out there and gets
Oh, Spanish says, oh yeah, Owlboy was on
Maybe
sale,
I
so I
can
picked it
strike
up.
the
I'm yet to
ball
play
while
this, I
you
still have a fuck ton of Neon Abyss to do.
So crazy, it
Owlboy's
just might
really
work.
good, from what I've seen.
Maybe it's so crazy that it's just extra crazy. There's absolutely no way I'm going out there, man.
Come on, you're a bulldog. Show some backbone. Plus, who wants to go for a walk? Who wants to go for a walk?
Dog. Rain. All right, let's go.
Great. When I say go, boy, get moving. Go, boy!
Alright, can we get it painted in time? Almost, almost.
Go, boy!
There we go. MC says Game Boy games have more colors than Skyrim.
The
Oh,
things ruined.
Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy!
keep at it, keep at it. Oh, our timing has to be exact then. Okay.
No, the painting's ruined.
Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy!
Go on, go on, go on. Jesus Christ. Alright.
No,
Spanish says I've nearly completed one character, so only, another however many I don't have the number, like 6 or something like that. And MC says Game Boy games had more colors than Skyrim.
Go, boy!
In most
Go, boy!
areas,
Go,
you'd
boy!
be
Go,
absolutely
boy! Go,
right.
boy!
Huh. Can we maybe not do this while Elodio is active? I mean, that wouldn't make any sense.
Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy! Go,
Okay,
boy!
hold on.
Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy! Go, boy!
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't think we can do this
the painting's
safely right now. Unless we do something to disrupt Elodio, which I don't think we can. And we have indeed reached the end of the road. We are at the tail end of the stage. Let's go get the last queen first. This is the one that it really helps to have confusion for.
Next up, Junior King Kong Cobra!
This one is just straight up a high school athlete. You'll be able to tell.
Hey, Edgar. Nice headgear, freak.
What?
What? You suck, Tegley. You can't beat me. Coach says I can't be beat. Coach says I got mental toughness. You can't break my concentration, wimp.
Hey, I'm not Edgar.
Yeah? You're gonna wish you're not Edgar when I'm through.
Look, I am not Edgar Tegley. My name's Raz. I'm a psychonaut.
You're an idiot, Smegly. Coach says your psycho girl-crazy lack of focus cost you states.
Seriously, I don't want to have to hurt you.
Well, since you'd have to break my concentration to even touch me, and since you can't break my concentration, I guess you won't be too disappointed then.
Spanner says, yeah, I brought the DLC, so 7 plus 2 plus 10, so 19 more? Oh, wow. That is a lot of work, man. Best of luck. Alright, so if we stun him, we can then just open up on this sucker.
Can't hurt me at all. Because the coach taught me how to concentrate on not feeling the pain. Not like you, Smegly.
But he can also use his own head, ow, as a confusion grenade. I think the way to dodge that is to avoid looking at him when he goes for his head. Yep. Or no? Oh, or maybe we just have to deal with it. That's entirely possible as well, since he is helpless aside from when that attack is in use. That should be him done. Or no, one more hit. Cobra bites, read many of the signs. It also,
just like I did in high school, loser.
well, compared to Viper, I guess it would.
Who am I?
MCS, maybe stun the bull for the painting? Maybe, but I don't know if you can stun El Odio in the streets. I don't, we'll try, though. Actually, that would make sense, given that Dingo gave us the Confusion Badge before that fight. I think if you didn't have the Confusion Badge before you tackled the Cobra, you would receive it at the very beginning of the fight. Does that sound right, Potato?
I think so. No, I think there's no way you can go into the fight without the confusion.
Ah, okay. Ah, and MC, you would be right. We can stun him. Good call, good call. Oh, and God's sakes, it's stunned for ages. I've never done this before. Okay.
Go, boy!
Is it going to get back to general bullshit, or is that it? Is El Odio down? Oh no, of course not. Alright.
The painting's ruined.
Spanner says painting jumping. What is this, Mario? No, it is a game that is just hardcore crashed, though. Oh no. Oh no. Yikes. Help.
Yikes, forever.
Can't move. Spanner says we all know Mario invented that. Was Mario 64 the first game to do that? That makes sense. As he says, I think you got bowled over. Yeah, no, something is up with this. Oh, there we go. Ah, and he's now taking us back to the very beginning of the stage. Excellent. Good. Great. Oh yes, Spanners. We got it. Let's head back to Dingo's apartment. Wow, that was weird. Like I said, game has a few technical hiccups here and there, but none of them have been terribly frustrating. Not even that one. Okay, so here's what we want to do, right? Okay, bear with me. We're gonna bounce up here. Now we're gonna duck into this little niche to the side, right on over here. Then we're gonna throw a confusion grenade to hit El Odio as he bounds around the side there. Right like that. And that'll give him all the time he needs, because El Odio is down for friggin' ages. Jesus Christ, I was not expecting that. Go on. Quickly, quickly, quickly. There we are.
It's not great, but I suppose it's just barely good enough. Come see me if you still want your reward.
You know, your advice didn't work.
Really? Then here's some new advice. I don't know what you're talking about.
How about that reward?
Fine then. 1 autograph.
You know, my bulldog friend could still paint a beer gut on that poster out there.
All right, here, take this. But I warn you, I won't be able to sign it.
Ah, this will completely max out our capacity for extra lives, I believe. Yeah, there we go, we just got the trophy for it. I'm gonna live forever. And indeed we shall. Let's find the teleport goblin. Here we go. And now let's see about getting back to, well, actually, we'll just use any of the teleports arranged throughout the alley to make it back to Edgar's, for lack of a better word, studio. We can now turn in all 4 cards. And that will enable us to build a tower straight up to the gorgeous neon sun. And remember, I said earlier that there was one particular scene in the game that really touched me and made me see exactly how the game was attempting to engender empathy in a very unique, indirect way. It's at the end of this world's principal boss fights, which are coming right up. Raz says something very simple, not especially profound or deep to Edgar. And for a game like this, though, it hits home very, very differently. Oh, yikes. MC says, I saw the last figment. Okay, hold on. I got you. I got you. Oh, there it is. Alright, Luna, take care. Thank you for joining us. Good night. Hope you have a better day at work tomorrow.
I got some cards for you, Edgar.
That is exactly the card.
So just really drink in this next, like, maybe 10 minutes of game, because mechanically it's very, very fun, but also it's very powerful, and I'm going to speak to exactly why I feel that is after the fight.
Edgar. The last card.
And notice every time we turn in a card, or a queen, all of the cards of its respective suit are assembled into the tower.
Well, now you can finish your tower.
Yes. Now this can all end once and for all.
Alright, so now we have to climb the tower to the sun.
Wow. It looks like you can walk right up there now, Edgar. Edgar? Edgar?
And so he has. Alright, let's do this one. Let's do it for Edward. Edgar, whichever. Climb up the clubs, and the spades, the diamonds, and lastly... fall down the tower, of course. And then the hearts. Here we go. Let's do this.
I knew you would save me someday. He just won't let me go. Tell me, how did you kill him?
Kill who?
El Odio.
I didn't.
And notice she doesn't have an accent, unlike the other characters.
Edgar?
And yeah, Edgar himself is El Odio. Literally consumed with a kind of it's depicted as rage, but I read this more as like petulant bitterness. And so what we're going to have to do to bring this very, very sad nightmare to an end is defeat Edgar as El Odio by impaling him with all of these, I think they're called banderillas or something, the spears.
Anyways, Brady, this is where I'm leaving you because it's midnight.
Alright, Potato, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you, man.
Good night, guys.
Good night. And so with that, friends, especially considering how late it's getting, we may call it a stream after this and then tidy up Psychonauts very quickly at the start of our next stream, so we can get on to my special project to celebrate, if you can believe it, 1 full year on Twitch for me, which, wow. I can think of nothing better to celebrate the, quote-unquote anniversary than, playing one of my favorite game series from childhood for you. Oh, yikes, yikes, yikes. Now that we've damaged him enough, Edgar reverts to his normal form.
Thank you for preparing the bull, my humble picador. I shall now finish this beast off easily.
Edgar, listen. There is no Elodio, no Lampina.
Listen to this.
No
This is
Dingo.
really good.
You can't let the junior varsity pep squad ruin your life.
What's up with the junior?
Yeah, we were full on varsity.
Give me a G!
G!
Give me an O!
O!
Give me a B!
They stole my happiness, my life, the state semi-finals, everything.
Now it's time to fight the actual boss.
No,
Dingo.
Wait! Edgar!
He never learns.
Spanish says, oh yeah, all my new PC stuff came. Oh, cool, man.
No.
Right on.
I can't believe I stuck forward.
I wholeheartedly look forward to that. Alrighty.
I gotta get those out of there and protect Edgar.
Yeah, so if we remove the banderillas from El Odio, he will recover some of his health. And what we have to do then is burn down Dingo while keeping Edgar alive.
Can't get a good grip.
So, if we say confuse him, he teleports. That's his thing. I believe we have to confuse him and then strike him with a banderilla. And he's going to be steadily damaging Edgar until we can get some confusion grenades up. It's also going to be attacking us very, very sporadically. There we go.
I am the mighty El Odio! I have all the power of the bull!
And all the weaknesses, I'll bet.
Look out! Here comes El Odio!
Come on, range.
Ow! El Odio's hit!
And you may notice, Dingo has way less health than El Odio. If only I could friggin' aim. There we go.
Look out! Here comes El Odio! Ow! El Odio doesn't like that!
He's without his teleportation gimmick, he's how am I levitating exactly? That shouldn't have happened.
Can't get a good grip. Can't get a good grip.
Well, I'm trying to get a good grip, Raz. There we go. Yeah, he'll stick Edgar a couple more times, but I think we've got this. If we just hit him with the remaining 2 banderillas, he's down. Good thing we've got the equivalent of far casting for our spears.
Ow!
Can't get a good
Right
grip.
in El Odio's butt!
He himself can do absolutely nothing aside from damaging Edgar. Once in a while, he'll take a swipe at us if we're near, but... Okay. He's down. Get ready. Get ready for it. Get ready for the line that made me get this game.
It's alright. It's okay. We'll win the game some other day.
Please. Edgar, look at them. They're too pathetic to hurt you anymore.
There it is.
Can't you just let it go?
How embarrassing. I can't believe I was hung up for so long over these losers.
I always loved you more.
Aw. It's kind of heartwarming, really. Give me a second. We've got a cutscene, of course. Then I'm gonna break this down for us.
Edgar Tegle. Fini, when you deliver this to my patronras, you may also hand him my farewell, for I am checking myself out of here. You have unchained my mind, young friend. So before I go, I'd like to show my gratitude by painting you a real work of art.
Noble?
You make light of my mental problems, and still, I have no rage. Amazing.
Okay, so... Well, we get the portrait. That's nice. That's everything we need to make it to Dr. Lovato. We also have Edgar kind of clipping through his shackle. But let me break down what we just saw and why it's kind of important. Hey, Schnaufy, welcome to, unfortunately, the tail end of the stream. Like I said, Psychonauts is a game, and the developers have construed it as such, players and critics have construed it as such, where character study through gameplay, through stage design especially, is at the forefront of the design philosophy. And in so doing, the game's been noted to engender a particular form of empathy and, like, emotional resonance with his characters, because, well, you understand these people by seeing how they view or how they remember their experiences. And I think for a lot of them, especially early on in the game, and more than anywhere else right here, that probably is especially resonant with a lot of players. Let me explain this to you. We talked earlier, variously, about Sasha and Mia's stages incorporating themes of dealing with loss in different manners. About Fred's stage and its emphasis on feelings of failure, or like you aren't living up to your station in life. Or Gloria and her problem of parsing the death of a really, really belligerent relative, and also maybe evaluating her own worth in the world. Not everybody's had those experiences, and not everybody's going to relate to them immediately. I, for instance, don't, in any of those cases, feel especially resonant. I'm not sympathetic, I am empathetic, however. But I would argue that everyone on the face of this earth has been Edgar. And I don't mean in regards to his actual circumstances. Obviously not. But let's really break down what we just saw in the game's most beautiful and compelling stage. Edgar's an old man, and a brilliant artist and athlete. He's talented. And he was able to get out of here and move on with his life. He was promised by the game's villains, even, if he could do one very simple thing. Something he was very, very good at. But he couldn't do it for years because, quite literally, he kept getting in his own way. And over what? It's not so much the story of, like, him being dumped or anything like that I want to focus on. It's the way he dealt with it, or rather the way he didn't. because Edgar is trapped in a feedback loop and has been for decades, where he was wronged. And based on all the evidence we're presented in the game, he was. None of the way his partner or the character that Dingo was based on, or especially his teammates or his teachers, treated him was fair. Not one bit of it. It wasn't right, it wasn't good, but it was also decades ago and not something that had the potential to seriously adversely affect him. Like Raz said, they can't hurt you anymore. But that wound was so deep and he kept it unintentionally so fresh, it did a lot more damage than it probably should have. Edgar's biggest problem, as communicated plainly through the game script several times, was in letting go. Letting go of something that wasn't fair, that wasn't right or kind or good, and never could be. He was trapped. And I think everybody here, everybody in our community, everybody in the world, has been in a scenario where you feel like, or objectively you have been mistreated. You weren't given what was due you. People were unkind to you. You weren't able to do exactly what you wanted to in life or in employment or anything like that. And had a real difficulty not nursing a grudge over it, right? I'm not proud to say it, but I've been there in my life before. But what this shows us, what we can all relate to, right, is never has that been productive for anybody. It's hard, it's difficult, it's demanding, and it requires a remarkable deal of emotional maturity and confidence in oneself, in one's, place in the world, to say, none of this was right. Doesn't make it okay, but I've got to be okay with it. This is the moment when I was playing this game when I was young that all of it just clicked for me. Didn't hurt that it was at the end of a beautiful stage. MC says, I relate to the unfairness, not to the grudge. Well, I shouldn't say grudge, because it's theatrical here in the game, but I mean letting it impact your sense of self, your self-perception, your orientation toward the wider world. That can be hard. That can be really hard. And what Edgar's story shows us is that maybe there's nothing good to be gained from dwelling on these horrible events, or events that impact us really negatively, unless there's something we can do to make them or make their fallout better, to make it right. Maybe the best thing to do, as difficult as it is just to try to move on. And maybe it won't hurt as much. Maybe you can create something beautiful. Maybe you can put some good out into the world that you wouldn't have been able to if you had chosen to make that injustice, make that unfairness, make that hurt the center of your life. It's hard. It's very hard. I've spoken at length on this channel before, early on in its life especially, about my experiences with, fundamentalist homeschooling that I or my family did not believe in, but were more or less forced into, due to health reasons, when I was younger. And it was hard for me for years afterward to not look at my situation in life and say, oh, and this is what Edgar's problem was. I'm sorry, I left this bit of my analysis out. The entirety of the stage, you heard it from him right before Dingo's fight, was, if that hadn't happened, so much in my life would be better. He's partially correct. Just like it was hard for me to not say, oh, this problem or that problem happened because I had these really rough experiences socially in my little world when I was younger. And that's true, that's fine, that's well and good. But it doesn't do any good, I think. It's not productive, it's not healthy, it's not helpful to say and fixate constantly on all the things you at least think you lost. Like, remember, this dude right here is remarkably talented in several different fields and has been for about 50 years. And none of it mattered to him. None of it. Because he lost something that could have been positive or productive or enjoyable decades earlier. It's really hard to do what Edgar just did. It's really fucking hard. Especially when you believe or you know outright that you are in the right. Because what's right or what's best, or just I should say, is not always what's actionable. So you've got to make the most of what you can and try to put out positivity and goodness in the world that you wish you had had when you were in those situations. Like, not to go too deep into my personal outlook or experiences, but every day I walked into work, back when work was still a thing, I strove and kept it in the forefront of my mind to be the teacher that I wished I had for all of my students. Even though I was like in middle and high school, homeschooling, and they were in college, I wanted to be someone who was a positive influence and a pillar on which to lean for them. I wanted to put something in the world that I wished I had. That's the importance here. That's kind of the lesson. Edgar, again, is really fucking relatable. Maybe especially so to me, but I think we've all been in a situation that we can see reflected in the story they tell through his world. The others, with their more extreme experiences, maybe not so much, but maybe that's why this stage is so relatable. The actual incident it's over, something in high school that happened that wounds someone for a lifetime, is something that is more relatable, that is more commonplace, that is a little more subdued. Anyway, MC says the past informs the present but should not dictate it. The should part is usually very hard. Yes it is. But it makes us and it makes the world better in the end. Trust me. I know. I've been there. I'm going to have to leave it here for today since there is about an hour plus, maybe between an hour and 2 hours of Psychonauts left. But I want to thank everybody who's joined me today, including Comrade Potato and Seth the Overwitch on commentary. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me in Twitch chat. Everybody catching this after the fact as a VOD on YouTube. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope that you're able to take something positive, even if it's just entertainment from what I'm putting out there. We will be back with the conclusion of Psychonauts on Saturday, as well as probably the beginning of a Sly Cooper playthrough series, which will be the formal celebration of 1 year of the Overanalyst here on Twitch, very regularly. I have a lot I want to say, a lot I want to do for that, but just know that we're coming up on a big celebration marked by some of my favorite games, and some of the games that, as you'll see, I'm actually kind of good at, some of those very rare ones. Alright, thanks all, have a wonderful rest of your evening, bye-bye!